Hello again, everybody. So today we are done with the pre-polish. I ran these in a 600 grit and then also in 1000 grit. The 1000 grit is actually listed as a polish, but I don't use it as my final step. I'm going to use some micro alumina for my final polish step. So I ran this for about a week in 600 and then 5 days on the 1000 grit. So I'm just going to show what they look like real quick. You'll see it's not really a high shine to this the 1000 grit. I think it's aluminum oxide, or no, silica, so it's gray. If it was aluminum, it would be white, and that's a much better grade of polish. So yeah, the 1000 grit I just use as a step before the micro alumina, which is a fine micron aluminum oxide. A little bit better than the basic stuff. I like it better than cerium oxide because it doesn't stain everything. It gives you the same polish with a little bit cheaper. The microalumina is a little more expensive than the regular, but it's worth it. Not really seeing any more troublemakers in here so far. Everything's looking hunky-dory. I like this pretty little piece of amethyst I threw in there. It's a tiny little piece, it's just, as filler, but yeah, isn't that pretty though? A lot of these little subtle bands are a lot more obvious now in these final steps. That looks like it might have gotten a little piece broke off there. It's pretty rounded, pretty smooth. I just don't think I noticed it before, but that's alright. I'll live with that. It's just a tiny little piece. Alright, we're going to throw these back in the barrel and then we'll bring out the next ones. Alright, here we have the next batch, and these are from the lower tone barrels. And the other one was from the Thumbler. So again, we're just going to look at these pretty quick. See how they're turning out. Oh, that's beauty. These ones are looking alright. Not too shabby. Nice and smooth. Oh yeah. Here we have our thunder egg pieces. Are looking pretty good. That's kind of interesting. I like that. Yeah, these definitely need a better polish because the shine on them, but they're nice and smooth. That's what I'm wanting right now is the smooth part. I want to be sure that polish is really gonna take. You don't want to use the micro alumina on softer stuff like feldspars and such, because it's such a fine grit that it really only works better on much harder silicates like agates and jasper and chert and stuff. So I don't really have any feldspar in here, other than the tiny little pieces of amazonite, but I'm not really worried about those. I think they'll be fine either way. This little tiny piece I threw in here, this was in one of my more recent beach find videos. I found this pretty little blue one on the beach, and I threw this in at the right before pre-polish. So the lake does such a good job of tumbling them, you don't really need to spend a whole lot of time in the previous steps, the ones I find on Lake Michigan. But it's really pretty too. Liking that one. This looks like it's got a tiny little piece right there. Broke off, gosh darn it, but it's too late now at this point. We're gonna keep going. That's a pretty one. Yeah, the more steps you run them, the longer you run them, the more chances you have to get like little annoying little breaks and pieces like that, you know. I like to run them for 10 days on each step, but then that's what happens, running them for so long instead of just letting them go for 7 days. They look a little bit better, but you got more risk of getting fractures and broken pieces. Yep, these are all looking pretty nice. This is a little fossil here that's being tumbled. You can see the marks on it there. And some people are always asking me if I tumble fossils, and the answer is yes. As long as they're agatized, silicified, and not calcified. Alright, we're going to get these ones loaded back up and bring out the next batch real quick. Alright, this is the last lower tone barrel. This one's so pretty. This is probably the one with the most pitting and stuff like that in it, but you know, I really didn't want to lose any of this red material if I didn't have to, and I don't mind that so much in some rocks. That one was okay. This one's really, really pretty. I like this one a lot too. That was awesome. We do have a newcomer in here. This one was one from one of my more recent beach videos also, same as that little blue one that I just showed you guys. This one I wasn't even sure if I was going to take or not, but I did decide to take, and I threw it in right before pre-polish. Because like I said, Lake Michigan does such a pretty good job of tumbling them and rounding them and smoothing them all out anyway, so this one I threw in there. This one's looking pretty cool. I'm glad I kept that one. Make sure this guy's not getting worse. Yeah, it'll be alright. I don't really feel any cracks or anything with my my fingernails, so I think that'll be alright. And like I said, the longer you run them, the more risks you have at fractures and cracks, so keep that in mind. Man, I don't know. This is a pretty nice batch here. We got some amazing colors and patterns in this one. That's my cool Lake Michigan agate I found. It's looking pretty nice. That one's got some gorgeous color too on it, huh? Yeah. Nice. Alright, we're gonna get these guys loaded back up, and then we'll bring out the last barrel, the Lortone 45C. So this is the final batch. It's a 45C 4.5 pound barrel. That is sweet. Nope. This is one of the problems you get when you're using like little plastic pellets. They get in these little holes sometimes, and kind of pop them out at the end. Sometimes they can make things like that worse, but this is another one of those agates that were kind of heavily pitted that I just decided was okay, and I was going to tumble anyway, so. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. It just pops right out, and it'll be all right. It's not a nuisance to me. It is a nuisance when you drop them on the basement floor and they're all over the tile, and then you gotta sweep them up. Yeah. This one's gonna be super pretty. We got another late addition to this barrel. This one I was done with the previous steps, and I've just been waiting to get it into a pre-polish and polish step. So I had a vacancy because I pulled out some other of those blue lace agates that were cracked, and so I decided to put this guy in there. So yeah, that looks really nice. Kind of like a jasp agate looking thing, huh? These gorgeous pieces of carnelian in there. My gosh. They just really kind of stand out from everything else, you know? It'd be fantastic when they're done. So yeah, we're just gonna run them for probably another week with the micro alumina, and then they'll be done. I'll burnish them with some ivory soap for 6 hours or so, and they'll be done. Looking fantastic. Alright, thanks everybody for staying tuned in on my epic batch of agates. We'll see you all in a week. Until next time, take care and rock on. Alright, I figured I should share with you guys a little bit of the differences of what I was talking about. This is silicon oxide. This is what I'm using. It's 1000 grit. It's like one of my pre-polished steps. I got 600, and then I got 1000. And then we go into aluminum oxide, which is actually 1200, and this is white. So we have like a good, we have a better, and the best kind of thing is this micro alumina, 0.5 micron alumina, which is what I'm using as my final polish step. So Kingsley North sells it as Ray Bright A. Works excellent. It's very comparable to cerium oxide. So I just wanted to share you real quick with you, show you what I was talking about. It is not aluminum oxide. You can use this, but if you want a little bit better polish, a higher shine, then go with the micron alumina. All right, thanks guys.